Yo guys, in this video we'll texture these Balmain biker jeans in Substance Painter. Let's get into this. Okay, so let's start with our UV unwrapping. For that we just want to bring all our patterns in this view close to each other. So let's just do that real quick. Okay, so now let's go into our UV editor, hit right click, reset UV to 2D arrangement, and just place it into our square here so it covers as much space as possible. Okay, but it also cannot go over the borders of the square, so keep that in mind. Just place it as close as possible to the borders to get the best result. Okay, and I also separately placed this piece because it's the piece right here. It is actually the Balmain tag, so I want to have a bit more resolution on it, so I'll scale it a bit more than the rest of our jeans. Okay, now we just gotta find a good place to fit it. Let's see. We could actually just place it right over here. Just make it be vertical. Yeah, we need it to be pretty much perfectly vertical, and just really scale it up like this. So get a bunch of resolution on our Balmain patch. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it for the UV unwrapping process. Let me check. Yeah, we got all of our garments in here, no clipping. Let's just now select all of it in this view here, hit file, export, and export it as an Olympic. Okay, so we are now in Substance Painter. We got my model here. And first of all, let's bake our mesh maps. 4K, super sampling 4x, and use low poly mesh as high poly mesh. Bake selected textures. Gotta wait for the bake here. Let's check out some of the references I got. We'll be making actually those more beige jeans. Yeah, like in this image here. I mean, white ones look really good too, but I don't know, I just really want to make those. Okay, we got done with the baking. Everything seems to look pretty good. And I will actually be using some of my own textures, which I made. You can find some of those on a free site called Ambient CG. They're also pretty good, just type in jeans. But I got some of my own, like those ones. Also, if you want, you can just screenshot them and just use them in your own project. It's definitely not gonna be the same resolution, but they will still work. let's actually kind of zoom in and check what kind of denim we got. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty much good. So let's import the base color and the height. Set the multi-texture to our project. Let's also save our project. Balmain jeans texture. Add a new fill layer, add a new folder, call it jeans, call it base denim. Let's only select the color, roughness and height. Drag and drop our base color into color and height into height. Bring the roughness up and scale the texture down. We also don't want it to be like perfectly scaled down, because we might lose some of the details, which would look pretty good. But I mean, yeah, something like this is, I think, really good. Let's now deselect height, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, base denim height. Now we want to deselect everything except for height, add black mask and add fill. This way we can easily control the amount of bump we'll have on our jeans, like that. I usually keep it at around like 0.45. That usually works pretty well. Now of course we gotta change the color. So let's add a fill layer into our base denim, only select color, and just use this pin drop tool to kind of point the color from here. Okay, now let's try some different blending settings. Oh, and screen actually looks really good, I think, yeah. If we now maybe decrease the opacity of it, it looks almost exactly like the one we need, which is really good. Maybe increase the saturation a bit to make the BH color way more pronounced. And now on top of all that, let's add a filter, HSL, and increase the lightness of it just a bit. Okay, great. That's a good base for our denim texture. Let's maybe scale it down. Duplicate the same tiling value into our height. And yeah, I think this looks really good. Let's now search for denim smart material. Drag and drop it into our folder. And from this one we will need some layers. It will be general volume, edges frayed, vertical ripped threads, discoloration and faults. Ctrl C, delete this smart mask, Ctrl V, hide them all, and just start going through them one by one. We can mess with the color in this one a bit, but mostly we'll need to mess with levels. Let's decrease the strength of it by just moving this level slider and increase the blur of it a bit, so it's a bit less pronounced. I don't think this coloration will do a lot in this case, so we can maybe delete it. Vertical ripped threads, as I can see, they are actually like present in this one, so yeah, I think we can keep them, and maybe we can actually make the height of them go negative. Nah, it needs to be positive. Yeah, okay. We can maybe decrease it even more. Okay, this is good. This is pretty much good. Now edges frayed, and there are actually a bunch of like frayed edges, as we can see here, on this part, on this part, on this part. Just they look awesome. So how do we replicate that with this fill layer? First of all, let's rotate this fill layer so it's facing vertically. Scale it up, but scale it up along the y-axis, like this. Okay, now we wanna deselect height in our and color too. We need to deselect color in those two cases. Scale it up even more. Add a blur mask. Add a bit of blur. And now make a new folder. Call it the same name. Add black mask and add fill, so it can control the amount of frayed edges. So maybe decrease blur a bit so it's just barely there. Yeah, I kinda like it without the blur. 0.11. Yeah, this should be good. And now mess with our fill layer. Like this, perfect. Now let's add another folder. Same name. And now with this folder we can just paint where we want those frayed edges to be. We don't want too much of them over here, I feel like. Just a bit. We want a bunch of them over here though. Near the knee area. Just spam them all in there. Okay, and on this opposite front part. Okay, great. Maybe in here too. By the pockets. In the back. On the back pockets. On the belt loops too. Just really get them all in there. Okay, that's great. Maybe some at the very bottom too. Okay, great. And now we just gotta decrease the height of it a bit, because it's way too pronounced right now. Like 0.45. Yeah, I think that's really good. Okay, great. Now, what should we add next? Let's turn on our general volume. This will also add some, like, you know, some wrinkles and stuff into our jeans, which is all good. Also, maybe we want to decrease the blur of it a bit now that I'm looking at those frayed edges. Here, like this. Okay, let's now make this ribbon part. Yeah, how do we do that? So, let's make a new folder. Call it ribbon. Create a new fill layer in there. Leave color and height, let's set the color to black. Bring the height up. add black mask, add fill, search stripes, scale it down, rotate it 45 degrees. Okay, like this. Mess with the histogram position a bit. Add filter blur. Add just a bit of blur. Increase the height. And just set this height onto those 3 pieces. Okay, that's pretty much the whole ribbon. Now we just gotta decrease the scale of the actual ribbon. Move it a bit. Okay, this is good. Maybe actually set the height to be negative. Yeah, that's really good. Just what we need. Increase the opacity of this whole mask a bit for the actual color. Mess with the height. Okay, that's really good. Now, what should we add next? Let's now start adding our stitches. It's a pretty important part of this whole thing. And to start working with stitches, we need to make a new fill layer. Call it stitches. Leave the color white, set the height up a bit. Add black mask. Go into our curve tool. Go into brushes, type in stitch. Stitch is small. And let's now just see what we are working with. First I'll decrease the size of the stitches. Not too much though. Decrease the spacing of them and add a bit of angle. Like 4. Okay. And let's now just start outlining our patterns here. We'll need to add a bunch of those, so it'll take quite some time. I'll probably just fast forward through this bit, because it's really not that difficult. Oh, and guys, before that we actually want to make a new layer called cavity to see like all the edges way better. Set the color to black, bring the height down, add black mask, add generator and UV border. Let's now set the contrast up, bring the balance down a bit like this. Add a filter, which would be blur in this case. Add a bit of blur, decrease the opacity, increase the height so it's just barely visible, but still there, adding all those details. Maybe increase the blur even more, to like 0.15. Okay, let's now get back to our stitching. Okay, so that should be it for the stitches. Let's now work with them a bit. First things first, I wanna decrease the opacity of them to like 50 and decrease the height of them to like 33, so they're still visible but not that pronounced. Maybe even less, like 0.27. Okay, great. And now I also want to make like a cavity around the stitches. So to do that, let's duplicate the stitches mask, call it stitches bump. Now decrease the height of it. Completely remove the color. And for our mask, let's add a filter blur. And just blur it out just a tiny bit like this. We can also try increasing it, but no, this will not work. Okay, and now as you can see, those stitches are like in little holes. They each got like a little hole. We can also increase the blur and decrease the height to push this effect even more, but I think it was good just as it was. Yeah, like so. Okay, let's check everything. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Let's now add some more spicy stuff. Let's first of all add an ambient occlusion layer. We'll set the color to black. Go into smart masks, type in occlusion. Dust occlusion might work really well. Let's see, increase the dirt a bit. Add filter blur. Okay, great. We can add just a tiny bit of that for this little ambient occlusion. And now duplicate this, call it AO buckets. Bring this up way more. Drag and drop it into a new folder. Also name it AO buckets. Add black mask and only apply it onto our two front pockets, so we get this like shadow right in the pockets. Here looks great. Let's mess with the opacity of it a bit to change the strength. Okay, and now we should also add some like dirt layers, because as we can see, these jeans are not like perfectly the same color. So let's start doing it. Add a new fill layer, add color var for color variation. Get some color from here, maybe like make it more saturated and a bit darker. In our smart masks, dust soft 2. Let's try this. Okay, just like barely visible there. We can decrease the opacity of it. Duplicate it. Let's try Dirt Dusty. Let's make this one way darker and a bit more saturated. Dirt Spots. Dirt Splashes. Okay. We can increase the opacity of it just a bit, so it's barely visible. And add our final color variation. Make it just a bit more reddish. Edges blur. Can actually just add like a tiny bit on some edges. This might look pretty good. Yeah, whatever, just a tiny bit. Okay, looks great. Now let's make our zippers. for this we'll actually need to add a black mask to our entire jeans folder. Oh no, a white mask, because we want to deselect some meshes and just deselect some parts where we don't want this jeans material to be. It's gonna be our Balmain tag here and those two zippers. So for zippers, let's type in fabric. Go into all of our materials here. Try fabric, what's it called? Fabric baseball hat. I usually use this one for like anything with zippers. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's see the reference. Okay, now in this folder let's add a new fill layer. Only leave color, roughness and also metalness too. Let's bring the metallic up a bit, bring the roughness way down, bring the height up, make the color a bit brighter, name it zipper. Let's now type in zipper, add a black mask to that, type in zipper. Yeah, this is perfect. This zipper advanced tape. To make it bigger. Not that big though, like 6.5. Now like 6.1. 5.7. Okay, let's now just move it, try to align it like this, perfect. Add just one more. We need to finish it here. Okay, just add one here. Great. And do the same thing for the opposite part. Just try to perfectly align it in the middle. Great. And just continue it over here. Perfect. Another thing, let's now duplicate this mask. Paste this mask into the whole fabric base. Yeah, paste into mask and invert this mask and mess with the levels a bit, so like this actual fabric bump is not affecting our zipper. It's a pretty cool trick. Which can come in handy here. Yeah, just like that, perfect. Okay, and now we only got the tag left. I gotta find the image of it. Maybe I got it, but let's just see. Yeah, I sure got it. Import it as a texture into our project. Make a new fill layer. Add a new mask or new folder. Just name it Balmain tag. Only select color for now, maybe roughness too actually, and bring the roughness up. Set the UV wrap to none, so it doesn't repeat. And now we just gotta align this image with our tag. So let's try to do that. Of course the perspective of it is a bit messed up, but we still should get a fairly good result. Great. Just great. Okay, we got this. Maybe decrease the roughness of it a bit, so it's a bit like shiny. And now we wanna add some bump on it. So let's search for a fabric. Let's just go with this one. It gives us like a little bump. Great. Just basically perfect. Maybe we want it to be just a bit bigger though. Surface detail. Yeah, pattern. That's what we want to scale up a bit. Let's move it and scale it up. Okay, great. And still maybe increase the roughness of it, of our tag. And okay guys, let me just double check everything. We got the ribbon, we got pretty much everything. Okay guys, I think that's it for our texturing process in Substance Painter. I hope you liked the video, drop a like and subscribe if you wanna see more, and yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace!